multiple safety tips for women going on early morning jogs.
Make sure that the areas are well lit, that you're walking.
While the police commissioner says overall crime is down, he also reveals there were 61 rapes in 2023, which he says is an 11% increase over 2022. 8 of those victims were tourists. Overall sexual offenses stand at 204 for 2023, the same as 2022. Even more startling is the number of victims who knew their attackers.
50% of the victims knew the assailants. They knew the assailants. When you look at the unlawful sexual intercourse, 134, as I indicated, a decrease of 4% over 2022.
Meanwhile, 97% of rape victims were female, while 3% were males. 72% of the victims were under 35. Additionally, 95% of the suspects were males and 73% of the suspects are under 35 years old. Fernando is advising parents to pay close attention to their children. Here's why.
We noticed the trend online that the youngsters will make contact with individuals, adult males, and then they will meet, and then the act happens.
The police commissioner was unable to say how many of these incidents were resolved. Fernando also had multiple safety tips for women going on early morning jogs.
Make sure that the areas are well lit, that you're walking, running with some other persons involved. Those who maybe lives alone, to please pay attention to your surroundings.
But that's not all.
Don't catch ride with strangers. Please, don't catch ride with strangers. That's why you have bus transportation or you have family members that you could reach out.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us, as you always do, on your Sunday. This is going to be an interesting conversation today, but needed conversation. This is going to be as real as it gets, and we're going to have to say what we have to say. It is Sunday, the 27th of October, 2024. It's the day after my birthday, and still celebrating. And so I'm going to celebrate this evening by spending it with you. I had a wonderful day yesterday, being able to speak at a leadership seminar to a lot of people. And what was so powerful about it was that there were people of all ages. There were people, very young kids there, and there were people probably in their 60s, 70s there. And so it was a wide range of people, but there was a large group of young people there. And so it was a powerful experience to be able to speak to those, especially the young people, and be able to motivate them about who they are and where they need to go in this life. So it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. They sang happy birthday to me as soon as I walked in the door. They really gave me the royal treatment yesterday. So I thank them so much for that at Greater Bethel Cathedral. That church is through the same corner as Carlton D. Francis School. So right to the end, if you go straight to there's a first church you'll see is on the left, the end of the corner. Greater Bethel. It was powerful and it was very interesting. And so I posted the video from my speech on Facebook, but of course they keep interfering with my videos. And so I don't know why, but the last after you reach about almost 36 minutes in the audio disappears. So I don't know what I said that they don't want you to hear, but they cut out the good part. So I uploaded the video to YouTube, to Lincoln Bain YouTube page. And so you can go there and look for that video and watch the whole thing. I think it's a very inspirational speech. And no matter who you are, no matter where you are in this life, I think is a transformative speech. And I also, for those of you who don't know, I wrote a book. It's called Identity Crisis, and it's sold all over the world, in almost every country in the world, and did very well all over the world. And so I encourage you as a Bahamian to read that book. There are a lot of people on Amazon. If you go there and read it, said it is the best book they've ever read. People shared it with them, and it surprised them. So go and read that book. It's a very, very powerful book. It's inspired. And so it could change the way you see yourself. It's called identity crisis. So if you go to Amazon.com and you search Lincoln Bain, that's the quickest way for it to come up, because there are some other books called Identity Crisis. But that's the one with the picture of a cat looking in the mirror and seeing a lion. And so it's a very powerful book. So I encourage you to go and read it. All right. It's still selling very well around the world. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we have a couple of things to talk about. As you saw in the description of this video, we are broadcasting live from everywhere, mostly Facebook and YouTube, and so and LinkedIn. And so you can join us on any of these platforms, so you can be a part of this conversation. We got some stuff to talk about today, so we're going to get it started. So I was contacted by someone speaking to me on behalf of the recent alleged rape victim, and they was telling me that when they made their checks, that they were informed that the accused was released pending further investigation. If that is the case, that is release pending investigation, and the victim had no idea that that had happened. Now, the victim was afraid for her life in this whole thing because, of course, the accused allegedly went to her house when he found out, and that she had made a complaint and asked for her children. Which was very curious. The children don't know him like that. And so that was very curious. And so it put her in fear of her life. And the long, drawn-out process of trying to deal with this also, was very concerning to her. It made her feel like they were trying to protect the officer. And so all she wants is justice, and all we want is justice. We're not saying who is guilty and who's not guilty. If he is innocent, then he should be vindicated. If she is not, then he, of course, with the recourse of the law. And so that's really what is wanted here. Based on what I'm hearing, there is a complaint that has been lodged. A complaint has been lodged by the accused. If a complaint is lodged and there's evidence that something happened, all right, I'm being told that the accused said that something did happen. Of course, he is trying to say that it allegedly that it was consensual. So something did happen. So now it's supposed to move to the court to make a decision. It's not for the police to decide innocence or guilt. If there's a complaint and there's evidence that something did happen, then that's enough for a person to be charged. And then it's for the court to vindicate them. Now, there seem to be questions as to whether she knew the person or not. And again, I'm not saying this, updating you to say whether there's guilt or not guilt. We're just trying to make sure that we keep this incident in the public eye so that no skullduggery can be done, because there's serious distrust with the police right now. So in terms of guilt or innocent, this conversation has nothing to do with that, and don't take that from this conversation. But there seems to be this question of whether she knew the person or not. Yes, she did know the person. And as the commissioner said in the clip that you just watched, 50% of the persons, I think more than 50% of the persons know the assailant. And so that's not a question. And so I don't understand what the situation is here. I'm told that the gentleman confirmed that he was not in a relationship with the lady. So I'm glad he was honest with that. So it should be that it moves to the court, and the court has to decide. It is not for the police in a matter concerning the police to say, you know what, we ain't really feeling her story. We just like him because he's a senior police and he's connected. So we can't just, we're not gonna try him. And so that's where we are with this. Um, and so we just want to know the truth, and we want to make sure that the public can trust the police force at this point. Now, there was some voice note going around that the young lady accepted was offered $30,000 in bribe, and therefore the fellow was going to be released pending further investigation. No, she did not receive a dollar from him. And if he makes any attempt to offer any money, I'm going to make sure you know about that. I'm going to make sure the whole Bahamian public knows about that. That will not happen on my watch. All right. If the gentleman is not in the wrong, he should be vindicated, like I said. But if he is in the wrong, that's a woman, man. That's a citizen of this country. We cannot cover these kinds of things up. All right. And so we are very concerned as it relates to this matter, if indeed he was released pending further investigation, which is what I was informed that happened. If that is the case, that's a problem, in my opinion. And so the lady was uncomfortable from the beginning. She felt like they was trying to keep her from her lawyer. She wanted to make sure she had legal representation there with her at every point. And it's like they kept, it seems like they were, to her, like they were playing tricks in order to not let her lawyer be present when she was dealing with certain things. Her lawyer was willing to be there, concerned for her, willing to be there. All right. For her, but at no point, well, at some points they let the lawyer come in the back, but they didn't let the lawyer be there. When she was doing the rape kit, they wouldn't let the lawyer be there. The lawyer was at the hospital. When they took the statement initially, they wouldn't let the lawyer be there, and that's concerning. And there was a way they did it that was very concerning. When they had the confrontation, this is something that I wanted to get forward to you, the Bahamian people. When there are rape cases, they do something called a confrontation, which means they bring the rape victim and sit them in front of the accused and let both of them speak. I don't know what kind of dark, draconian practice that is, but that needs to stop forthwith. And I can assure you that under the COI, that is going to stop. I don't understand the purpose of a confrontation. So you have a woman who was intimidated by a man who violated her, raped her, sometimes in violent ways. Maybe a person they know, maybe a powerful criminal or a powerful police. And you sit them in front of that person now so they can be intimidated? Women should not go through that in this country. That needs to stop. I don't understand the purpose of that. And so if someone can explain the purpose of that to me, please do. But it seems to be extremely nonsensical and silly. And I think they should rethink that. Now, your broadcast is kind of fuzzy on YouTube. And so I'm sorry about that. I don't know why that is, but hopefully it'll clear up in a minute. Of course, these kinds of broadcasts, they always interfere with, so you don't have to worry about that. All right. And so to sit the victim, and I'm not saying that they don't normally do that. They normally do that in the Bahamas. And I think that practice needs to stop, because you sit in front of the guy and that's time for him to give you one serious stern look to let you know, if you dare continue with this, if you dare try to take this, continue with this, or take it to the next level, just look at my face. It's all. And I don't think that should happen, man. Honestly, that has to stop. And then there was there seemed to be this concern that someone else is pushing her to do this based on the questions she was getting, that someone else is pushing her, or maybe it's the COI or me that was encouraging her to do this. No, it wasn't. She was the victim. She was belittled. She was wronged, allegedly. And that's all her. The only reason that we are there is to make sure that nothing is swept under the rug, as normally happens when it is a connected person. You see, 3 constables, 4 constables, yeah. We'll throw it in the garbage. But a connected person, a connected senior officer, who's connected to certain people and might have done certain things for certain people, no. Let's see how long we could drag this on. You see how quick those constables were? This report was made how long? From Wednesday. It is now Sunday. From Wednesday is now Sunday. And so again, I will say this to you. No bribe or offer was made to the woman. She's not been alone from this has happened. No bribe or offer, except for in while she was doing the confrontation, etc., or doing the rape kit thing. But no bribe or offer has been made to her, and she's not accepted any bribe or offer, and she will not accept any bribe or offer. If a person chooses to let it go, which everyone has the right to do, they can just let it go. But at this point, she has no interest in doing that, and she will not accept any bribe. All right. So I just wanted to make that clear to you. All right. And so I was assured of that. All right. So someone on here saying just like Michael Johnson is swept under the rug. Yeah, man, that Michael Johnson case. And this is another senior officer in charge of a division who was accused. Just like Michael Johnson was in charge of a division, it's another senior officer in charge of a whole division. And so, yeah, are we going to get justice? I don't think many Bahamians believe that we're going to get justice as it relates to this. Especially when you're dealing with someone, connected to the higher ups. All right. So we may have to take this to another level in order to get justice. But we'll see. We have a couple more days, and we'll see exactly what happens. When the young lady came home after the confrontation, there was a van parked across the street. There's a van parked across the street waiting for her to come home. She was dropped home, and when they looked over there to the van, pulled off and left. And so she is concerned for her safety. All right. So I just wanted to put that in this perspective for you. Yes, they lock up police officers, but not police officers who are connected. Just like anyone who is connected politically in this country, they're immune to anything. All right. All right. So, yeah. And so I don't want anyone to think this is against the police or the police force. It's the senior ranks of the police force that we're concerned about. The senior ranks that we're concerned about. They don't seem to have, and this is legitimate. This is to address their professional ability. They don't seem to have the ability to address crime in this country because they are failing as it relates to crime. They are absolute failures. There was a question of the qualifications of both the commissioner and deputy commissioner. That was the first question asked of the deputy commissioner when he became the deputy commissioner. But I want to show you something, an article. I want to show you something. When they talked about crime and they were reporting on crime, this makes you question the abilities of these people. So one, they're failing on defeating crime. Two, here's an article. This is ZNS article, 2023 crime stats release. Commissioner of Police, Clayton Fernanda, release crime stats. So here he's talking about crime, certain crimes being down a little bit. But it's not crime down. It's the reporting of crime. People, sometimes now, you can't get break into it. You even report that. People feel, house breaking, they could take long to get here. Nothing. Also amongst the number of solved by police. He said 72 of the 110 was solved, which represents a 65% solvency rate. Anyone see anything wrong with that sentence? Let me see if anyone else see that. Anyone else see anything wrong with that sentence right there? He says this represents a 65% solvency rate. Anything? That's fine with y'all? Is that acceptable? 65% solvency rate. Anything wrong there? Well, I'll tell you, all right? Because I know there's a little delay, so it'll take long for y'all to get there. This right here, while it is a word, so he's not doing a Perry Christie. Perry Christie used to make up big words and to sound intelligent, and he know that most people won't know that it wasn't a word, and they won't check the word that he said. So he'll just literally create words. We used to have fun with that. We used to look up some of the words and realize that, hold on, that's not a word. All right? People are just starting to comment 65%. Yeah. All right. So I'll just get to it. Solvency is a word, but that word does not go with this sentence. Solvency has to do with your financial ability to pay debt or your liquid, the state of your liquidness, if you want to say it like that. Insolvent means that you're not liquid and not able to pay your expenses or your debt. Solvency means you are. This is ridiculous. And I mean, and all the media just put that there and no one questioned it. And he said it. I heard him say it in the video. And he keeps saying it. So yeah, we're going to do it. I'm doing a search in front of you. Google search for solvency. Solvency, the possession of assets and access of liabilities, ability to pay one's debt. That's solvency, Commissioner of Police, not solving a crime. What is solvency versus liquidity? What does solvent mean in business? Jesus. These are the people who are responsible for crime in this country. Oh, God. Solvency, definition. I mean, we're in trouble, And he keeps saying it. And I heard other police officers start saying it, I guess, because they heard him say it. They guess that it must be a word. The commissioner is saying it. Let's repeat that same nonsense. Jesus. How? How? Oh, God. Okay, so, boy, country is falling apart. Okay, so We in trouble, y'all. So finish with that. I wanna get to when I open the phone lines, y'all could talk about that if y'all want to. But I want to talk now about Merve and the situation there with this Merve lady. All right. Um, and again, on my discussion there with that situation, uh, that's not about guilt or innocence. It's just to make sure that no cover up happens because we, after seeing the Michael Johnson case, we don't trust the police, the senior ranks of the police force, not every police, the senior rank of the police force. In our opinion, they lied about uh, uh, NCA getting involved from the UK. Then they switched it after we called the NCA, and the NCA didn't know what they were talking about. And they switched it to the FBI, and the FBI don't know what they're talking about in terms of coming in and investigating. The FBI is not coming in to investigate this matter. All right. This is going to be investigated by SIB, which is just as bad. I've talked about that over and over. And so we in problems as it relates to that. All right. So um, here we go. Merve, Merve, Jesus Lord. You know, a lot of people said that they're proud of the people of Grand Bahama and the Bahamas for coming together so quickly on this matter. I am also proud on Bahamians' ability to come together and to voice their disdain and their anger, and to not consonant what they felt was evil. Of course, there's more than one side to any story, and of course, some people were telling me to you got to go over there, you got to get involved, you gotta go deal with that. Any situation that you see me and my team go to, we were called. All right, I don't just go to any scene. I'm managing a lot of situations, and I only go where I'm called. So if a person's called me, I go. All right. We're not like ambulance chasing lawyers going after every situation. And so if people call me, if a family member call me and I'm able, I have time, I will go and deal with that. But for those couple of days, we were busy trying to make sure that there was justice for this young lady um, who was allegedly raped. And so, I also I'll leave that. But anyway, so we were busy dealing with that, and I saw people rise up and people getting so involved, and there were some people who had concerns that a lot of the people they saw in the front on this really was like PLP persons. A lot of the people they saw speaking on the front on this. So some people had that concern, and they were wondering why. Will Merv's not Merv. Miss Ingrid's Carey's husband is the first cousin of Perry Christie. All right, so I can't say that that's why those persons did that, but that's a connection there. And so for persons who were saying, "Oh, all these PLP trolls coming out, all of a sudden in Grand Bahama," and so maybe that could be, a part of it. I don't know, and it seemed like persons who, and I'm talking about the regular people. There's regular people from both sides there, of course. Um, then there were person, I saw someone on a radio personality start talking about it, and he was defending Merv and the situation, and it seems like F&Ms were defending. And so there was this underlying apparent political thing going on there that some people noticed. And I'm not going to speak to that, but I am going to speak to the fact that Bahamians did come together and they got results. And I'm going to speak to the fact that every time Bahamians come together, they get results. And I am happy that you were so angry that you came out and fought for what happened. All right. Now, this is my concern. I have two concerns as it relates to this. One, we need to have that same anger towards the politicians and government officials who are raping and robbing us on a daily basis. Where was your anger when Keith Bell was selling our citizenship to foreigners? Where was your anger when Miss Curry's house property was being taken from her by illegal immigrants. When her house was broken down by the illegal immigrants and she was threatened and her crops were destroyed by them, where was your anger and your come together? Did Clint jump on a plane or even jump in a car to come to her rescue? Where's your anger? It seems that Bahamians are more willing to speak up when it's not involving a politician. Some people feel like if a politician had owned that home, no one was coming out. Like, oh yeah, we want him Merve, we get Merve. But let's say a politician had owned that home. No, we ain't getting in that. We have to stop being fearful when it comes. Politicians are taking the properties of families in this country, not compensating them. Politicians are raping and robbing us every day. They are taking everything that belongs to you. They are punishing you. They just stole your utility company in your face. Where is your anger? Where is Clint Watson? They stole your sovereign wealth fund in your face. Where is your anger? Where's Clint, who spoke about that before the election? Bahamians, we need to build up our courage. We're easy to come out when it's something that's, we are not afraid to go after each other, to put each other in place. But we're afraid to touch our servants. Again, I applaud you for standing up. But don't stop there. These people are raping and robbing you into the abyss. Where is your anger? Look around in Freeport. It's all because of corruption and failure on their part. Where is your anger? Hubert Alexander Menace bought that hotel. I showed you the documents. Bought that hotel in Grand Bahama because he was a shareholder in it before. And the company bailed them out by buying it from them. And he returned the favor. I showed you all the documents. Hubert Alexander Menace was, in fact, I think he was with the chairman or president of the Grand Lucayan. I showed you the documents. Where is your anger? The airport transaction for $1. Where is your anger? They borrowed $30 million that you have to pay to build a shopping center. Where is your anger? You have to pay that. They're going to tax you to get that back. Where's your anger? Bahamians, if y'all don't get angry at the real problem, if y'all don't have the courage to come out and stand up, just like you did against Merve, we're in trouble. So all the big talk, oh, Merve, we'll get you, we'll drag you out there, oh, we'll do this and that, get out now. Where's your anger for these people who are taxing us to death, giving themselves contracts, going to bed? I'm going to show you what they spending money on on this show. I'm showing you documents, so stay tuned. Yeah, I got documents to reveal. Stay tuned. I can show you what they spending money on. I can show you the garbage in writing, their documents. So thanks for fighting for Merve. I appreciate that. But let's take that same energy against the people who are robbing all of us. all of us. We'll get back to that in a second. All right. So the next issue is, okay, Merve gave back the house, but there are still elderly persons living there. Are we not concerned for those elderly? This ain't over yet. Okay, we got Merve out. The woman gave the house back, but the other elderly are still there. They need to be taken care of, even if it's by the state. But the anger gone. I hope the anger wasn't that, boy, we can't let Merve get over. We can't let her get something. No, man, it couldn't have been that. So we need to go and make sure, and we need to lobby the government and social service to make sure that they are doing what they're supposed to do. Inspect these homes. Make sure that the elderly are taken care of. That's what they paid their taxes for. And so now social services should kick in and take care of them. The state should, if their family can't. This is how it's going to be in a COI government. When the elderly person gets to the point where they can't take care of themselves, we handle that. They paid for that. All right? And so I would love to reveal some of our plans for the elderly, but we'll do that at another time. But those are the two things. Where's the anger? Are these people who stealing everything from us, raping and robbing us, giving themselves contracts? Well, I can show you some in a minute. Giving themselves all the crown land to them and pastors, to influence the pastors. Here's your anger. All right? And so I just wanted to make sure we touched on those two things. And so with that said, oh, the ambulance. Before I go to showing you this document, I want to talk about the ambulances, the inadequate ambulances, the shamefully inadequate ambulances that they bought. The truth of the matter is they are not ambulances. Technically, they are. So it's like this hospital that they built that isn't really a hospital, but it's just a little something. These are medical transport vehicles. They are not best used as ambulances. Although an ambulance is a medical transport vehicle. This one is not meant for if there's a serious situation, a car accident, you have to deal with the patient while you're driving on the road, you have to sustain the patient. These are not meant for that. These ambulances that they bought, and if you watch the live where I talk about the rape, we showed the ambulances. We showed that these ambulances are not adequate. They're very small. And so it's embarrassing that this is what they bought for Bahamian people. And they're selling this as something good. All right. And so not all, but some of the ambulance drivers have now spoken out. The EMTs have spoken out about how, ridiculous this whole thing is. And so what we did was we went to the company where they got the ambulances from to see exactly what this nonsense is that they're offering the Bahamian people. And so this is the ambulance that they got, right? This one has the glass on the side instead of straight up, all right? But this is the actual 2024 version. So I don't know what that version is that they actually have, but this is the same ambulance. But the 2024 version has this glass on the side, all right? So this is the vehicle, all right? This vehicle is like a van. This is like a van that they turn into a transport vehicle. Let me show you more about this vehicle. This vehicle here is a Toyota Hayas or Hayasi, 3,000 kilogram vehicle, uh, technical and driver area. They're separated. The length of this vehicle is 4,694 millimeters and 1,600 and 95 millimeters in length. The vehicle is low and narrow. All right. Look at this vehicle. I'm going to bring this up large on the screen. Look inside there. Look in there. I can't make it any bigger. Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to make it bigger. But it looks big on your screen. There's no space in there. Let me give you another view. These are vans. This is the inside. All right, see these machines? You'll see this. You'll recognize these in a second when I show you another picture. This is not acceptable. All right? This is not acceptable to call them ambulance. And these are stick shift. What is this? And so these are all the specs of the vehicle. This is the vehicle from the back. Yes, it is hatchback, just like this. If you remember the video, you saw Ms. Green was checking the back to see if it was locked. Let me tell you how wide this vehicle is. 1,695 millimeters. It's 5 feet 6 inches. That's how wide the whole vehicle is. So inside is a little bit less because that's on the inside. But the width of the whole vehicle at the widest point is 5 foot 6 inches. This is too small. Normally, they preserve about 3 feet if they're doing any seating or anything like that for a human being or any kind of spacing for a human being. And look on here, it says the vehicle will be certified by the destination country. So wherever we send this vehicle, y'all got to certify that, not us. Y'all certify it. Now look at the small space in there. Look at they have a small, I'll call this a gurney. All right. It's like a small gurney. And that's why they said it can't accommodate someone over 250 pounds because this thing is so narrow. I doubt I could lay on that. All right. That's on the second picture on your right. The two pictures on that side, on the right-hand side, the one on the top. Look at the gurney. And then look at the gurney to the bottom. This has no space. Jesus. And so that's the next ambulance type. They didn't get that one. So this is what they got for the Bahamian people from this company. The company is in Spain, but this came from London. All right. So maybe it was they call it a stretch and I call it a gurney. Thank you. These are transport vehicles. So the problem with this, the biggest problem with this is that the person, okay, if you look at the picture on the bottom, right, on the right hand side on the bottom, that's the stretcher right there. All right. So the stretcher is against the wall. So if they have to work on you and they need to come on the other side of you for some reason, they can't. If they need to go and put pressure on your other side, let's say you're in there, you're laying in there, and your let me see, your right hand side is against the wall. And let's say for some reason you have an issue on your right hand side, they need the dresser to put pressure or something. They can't get around to that side because you're over there, and they can't pick you up and turn you around so that now your right hand side is exposed. I mean, what if you have an injury or a cut or something got to address on both sides? This is so extremely stupid. And I want to call out the Minister of Health for this. This is beyond stupid. This is idiocy to the next level. To say that these guys are running this $3.5 billion economy, not economy, government revenue, and they can't get proper ambulances. $3.5 billion their budget. And I'm going to show you their budget in a minute. I can run you through the line items. $3.5 billion revenue, and you can't get us a couple ambulances. All this was 1.4 million. Now that 3.4 billion, you can't get us proper ambulances. And you're Fred Mitchell who like to call people idiots. You all are the idiots. If you got 3.5 billion, and you can't get something simple as ambulances, this is ridiculous. This is idiocy beyond belief. How? I mean, and they were actually taking pictures, posing with this ambulance. Like, I couldn't believe the nerve of them. They were literally, the Prime Minister and the Minister of Health was literally sitting in the ambulance taking pictures. Let me show you how small this thing is. Let me pull up the picture. This is Brave and the Minister of National Security in the ambulance pointing. Look at how small the stretcher is. Look at it. That is so small. Only the skinniest of people can fit in that. Look at the width of Brave, and he's far in the background. This is close to the camera, which makes it look bigger. Brave could not lay in this stretcher. Now, look at Brave. Look how jam up they got to sit together, and Brave is almost out of the vehicle. And only one leg is on whatever he is sitting on. It looks like a cooler or something. I don't know what that is. Only one leg is on it. So that means two people can't even fit. Look at his legs. His leg is actually hanging out of the ambulance. And they're trying to make it look like they're sitting down. And they're saying pose. Well, make it look like we're looking at something. That's how Dr. Davil does it. Make it look like we're looking at something. Brave is literally sitting halfway on whatever that is he's sitting on. Some look like a cooler or something. I don't know what that is. This is ridiculous. And they can't get a bigger stretcher because if you look at the bottom of it, look at the floor, that floor is elevated. And the wheels come straight to the edge of that, so they can't get a bigger stretcher. So they cannot fit a bigger stretcher in there. Only the stretcher that comes with it. Jesus. So Brave is on there, sitting with one half of his buttocks and one leg hanging out the vehicle. That's how small it is. My Lord. So this is a transport vehicle that they actually use when the patient is stable, but they're trying to transport them from one facility to another, or from one facility to an air transportation, et cetera, et cetera. This is a transport vehicle. This vehicle is not best suited. Not best suited. They have some other ambulances that are better suited for that we could have ordered, but clearly we ain't ordered this. Because ain't no way Brave them look at this and say this the one to order. Brave, if y'all looked at this and said that this is the one that we should order, we need to call an election immediately. And I mean immediately. If y'all looked at that one and said, oh yeah, that's the one, a hatchback, y'all got to lift up the back trunk and push people in the back trunk. You might as well let us go on the trucks. We could have saved some money. Let's look at some of these other ambulances. That's even better one. I compared the size of the ambulance that we do have. That's huge. That's like twice the width of these, basically. All right, the ones that we have now, those big box ones. You see? The big box ambulances, they seem to be about almost twice the width of this nonsense that they were buying. I'm trying to pull up. You see, this is a bigger one, type BC. Here, the width instead of 1600 millimeters, this one is 2070 millimeters. All right. This is more like an ambulance. They should have chosen this. It would have made much more sense. What is that? 2070. I think I'm seeing right. 2070 millimeters. All right, which would have given 6.79 feet, almost 7 feet in width. It makes much more sense. A lot of our population is obese. And so we have to buy for the population. That's the taxpayers. This is their ride. You see how much more space is in here? Much better vehicle. So how did they go through this catalog and say, give us the worst one? How did they do that? Someone probably donated it. So I feel, and they wouldn't give us Freedom of Information Act, so we got to assume someone probably donated it, and they said, well, we could just say we paid that for it, and we could just pocket that money. It's probably what they did. All right, so this country we living in. Just wanted y'all to see that. I mean, and they bragging, oh, Brave, them doing a good job. You buy police cars, but instead of a police car, those Chargers or those good Ford cars with the grills in the front and look like muscle cars, instead of buying a police car, you bought trucks. And Brave doing a good job? Trucks. Okay. Instead of buying an ambulance, you bought a transport vehicle. I've seen police truck turnover because they're not suited for chases and that kind of. I don't know. Maybe, but some people feel like they doing good and we should just let them keep destroying the country. Yeah, some people are proud of that. But we have to invest in this country properly. You know, before I get to showing you these documents, I can show you the documents right now. I want to say that hurricane season is almost over. It's over 3 years of their administration. We still don't have one hurricane shelter. They have the budget for it, you know. I'm about to show it to you. They have the budget for it. But they just squandering the money on foolishness that them and their family, friends, and lovers can make money from. They could do it. They choose not to. Family, friends, and lovers. All right? And so, even before last election, we were ready with our plans for hurricane shelters. These are already drawn up, ready to go from day one. First thing we wanted to jump on. This is, I think, that one part of the top floor. It shows some of the beds and some of the rooms, et cetera, to house people. Of course, not extremely spacious in the rooms, but this is just a holding place so you could have a comfortable bed for you and your children, et cetera. Some communal areas, et cetera. It's just the top floor. This should be the first thing we do because of where we are. This was the plan on the outside for how this whole thing was going to be set up. We had a separate area for pets, a separate area for persons who might have had communicable diseases, a separate area for them. We had, this was a beautiful setup that people could have seen. And we could have gotten to putting one of these on every family island. And we started putting the budget to put 5 of these immediately 5 of these in New Providence, 2 in Freeport, 1 in Abaco, 1 in Eleuthera, 1 in, 2 in Andros, 1 in Exuma and Long Island, 1 in Cat Island that will be shared with transport between the islands next to it, San Salvador, Rumkey. 1 in Auckland that will be shared with using transport, will be shared with the islands next to it, Long Key and Crooked Island, and 1 in Inagua. Okay, and so this is proper planning. But we keep accepting these people making us think that everything is too hard or too difficult, and you don't have money for this and that. But they always have money to spend when they want to spend it on. You never have a problem with that. This was a sample hurricane shelter by the UN. They wanted to make sure that you have all these things in place when you do draft up your hurricane shelter. So based on our studies, making sure we were internationally compliant, this is a shelter that we looked at. All right. And they have all of the information you need, everything, budgets for everything. Right. Just to assist persons who are in the hurricane belt. But guess what? Our government took none of it. None of it. They have not in 51 years, budget of 3 billion, 3.5 now billion, and you can't even build one a year? Just one? If it's too much for you? You're all building houses, you're all personal houses. The F&M, when you're here after election, oh, this one build house, that one build house, everyone build house. Nothing for the people. Come on, man. We need proper planning and we need vision to move the country to the next level. So let's look at the country's budget. See if I can pull that up for you. Let's look at the country's budget. Let's look and see what we have and what we don't have. Let's see, pull that up. Okay. All right, there it is. So let's look at the country's budget, because the country is failing on this, man. And I mean, and it's shameful. They have so much money. Watch when you see how much money they spending on stuff and what they spending on. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I mean, $86 million over 5 years for travel. Jesus. For travel. So this is their beyond ridiculous budget. All right. And it's showing, you know, their revenues over the years and their forecasted revenue. All right. And so they're in the $3+ billion revenue. All right, and they're doing it, comparing it to GDP. So the first line is 1920, then it's 2021, 2022, and up to, so the 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth section is the 6th year is this budget, 2024, 2025. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have to count it like that because they don't let the top go down with you so you can see what's going on. All right. So 6, they believe the capital revenue for this year is going to be 3.5. Sorry, recurrent revenue is going to be $3.5 billion. All right. That's in the 6th pillar I'm looking at. $3.5 billion. The expenditure, they say, is going to be $3.2 billion. Whatever. All right. And so these are the numbers. But the GDP, all right, the GDP, let me pull it up for you. Yes. The GDP is $15 billion. This is GDP current prices, $15 billion. All right. Last year it was $14 billion. You mean to tell me $15 billion is our GDP and we're not feeling that? Let me tell you the first thing that we need to do. I'll stop sharing for 1 second because I want to look you in your eyes as I say this. The first thing we need to do is we need more Bahamian ownership so that more of that GDP goes to the Bahamian people and it stays in our economy. So one of the first things we want to do is we're going to ensure, even if you have to do it through grants, because the money is going to flow right back to government, all right? And it's going to flow in the economy. The money in the Bahamas needs to touch 7 Bahamian hands before it goes out of this country. That's a Jewish rule. That's a rule I learned in Israel when I was going there for some business activities. That's a rule that they have. It must touch 7 hands in their community before it goes out to the community. That's their rule wherever they live. And so if we have a similar rule where the money has to touch Bahamian hands before it leaves the country, it's going to cause an exponential effect within your country. You see, right now, the GDP may be $14, $15 billion, but that's Atlantis, Bahama, et cetera, et cetera. That money is not even coming to the Bahamas. When someone books a room in Bahama, that money never touches the Bahamas. That's booked somewhere else. When someone books Atlantis, that's booked somewhere else. Because tourism is one of our major industry, we should have had a booking software that persons can use to book in the Bahamas. Dubai did it for the airlines. Think about that. But anyway, we just like making politicians rich with no vision. And so if we own more of the economy, then the money is going to stay here. So instead of Atlantis getting the money overseas and bringing only what they need here for operations and for staff, which is a minuscule amount, now a Bahamian with his money here in the Bahamas, taxable because there will be business taxes, will have the money here. All right? Businesses will be taxed. So we get a piece of that as a government. All right? And then he has to pay the services here in the Bahamas. All right? And he has to pay staff, et cetera, et cetera. So that money is bouncing the staff. The staff, it goes from the owner in the Bahamas to a staff member. All right? That staff member pays the barber, the food store, all right, the electricity company. He pays all of his bills. He pays the school for his children. You see how it's going? He pays the liquor store. He pays the clothing store. You see how that money is bouncing? And each one of those transactions are also paying different persons. And the money will keep circulating in the economy. And it will make for a better, more robust economy, even at this level, even though we have plans to grow the economy through our natural resources, etc. With just the GDP they have now, we need more Bahamian involvement. We can't have the foreign investor only invest in the country, although that's good. We want them. And then taking all of the money out. They're sucking from our economy and taking the money out. It's our economy. They're not creating the economy. They're only providing hotel rooms for our tourists. The tourists come here to experience the Bahamas, not to experience a hotel. When you go to Miami, you don't go there to experience a hotel. You go there to Miami to shop and experience all of the activities that are there. All right? And so the tourist is coming here, and what they're doing is setting up to suck the money from those tourists. And so they're setting up activities, etc. They're even now selling coconuts on the beach that Bahamians used to do. They said, wow, these Bahamians making a lot of money selling coconuts. Let's take that. And so that's what they're doing. And Brave Davis is helping them because they're going to push all of those Cabbage Beach people away. And we'll see what happens with that. But I just wanted to put that in perspective for you. We need more ownership. And by having more Bahamian ownership, it's going to cause the economy to grow even more. I'll explain that in more details in another live because I've been going too long. I got to open the phone line soon. All right. So let me continue with this budget. I want you to see some stuff. So that's the GDP. All right. Yeah, so this is the GDP, et cetera, et cetera. So let me just shoot through this. So this is the revenue summary graph. So this is what they make revenue from. So I'll just go there. So value-added tax, 42.8%. That's VAT. Taxes on property, 6.5%. Taxes on internal trade, that percent. Taxes on use and permissions of goods, 9.7%. So they have it broken down here on what they are gonna get from each of these areas. All right. I wish I could take my time and go through this with you. I'm trying to speed through it. But rent, they feel that they're gonna make $18 million from rent. That's interesting. Dividends, interest, all this stuff is here. Value-added tax, tax on financial capital, excise tax, tax on specified service. They're making $800 million from taxes on international trade and transactions. That's $830 million in taxes on international trade and transactions. More on that. Taxes on use and permission to use goods, 342 million. Big numbers. You see how much money they're making? You see anything with the natural resources there? No? Nothing? Wow. So they could be making even more. What about our treasure? Nothing there? Nothing from treasure? Wow. The sale of land, only $1 million on the sale of land. Grants from international organizations, 2.9 million. Sounds fake. All right. So this is the revenue. And then they have a further breakdown, property tax, value-added tax, all that kind of stuff. So this is billions of dollars being made every single year. Billions of dollars being made. All right. So the tone right here, you can see this is 3.5 billion and it's going to go to 3.9 billion, et cetera, et cetera. All right. This is interesting. And then I want to show you the expenditure, and I'm going to get to some of these contracts, things they're going to be doing. But they break it down by the different areas of the income that comes in. They break it down, the income that comes in from the different areas, from the VAT office, from all these different places, all right? And all exemptions, all this stuff is right here, all right? But let me speed through. So like for the Department of Inland Revenue, stamp tax bank, $60 million. So there's a lot of stuff here. I'm going to share this document so you could get access to this. Yeah, because you really need to look at this. All right, I'm speeding through it, but you really need to look at this and pay close attention to what's going on. I'm going to show you a couple pages that's very, very important. All right. All right, we're going to go to page 265 and 275. We're just going to go straight there. All right. So, let me pull them up for you. 265 and see, and a lot of us don't read, and they put the stuff there because they know black people aren't going to read. And anyone who starts doing this reading stuff, people aren't going to be interested in paying attention to them. Black people just want entertainment. So let me go all the way to 265 first. 265. There we go. 64. All right. So, all right. There we go. So, okay, that's 64. Let's go to 65. Investment projects. So these are the things that they're saying that they're gonna invest in, right? And these things are part of the budget for 2024, 2025. So this is what they're saying they're gonna spend money on. All right. So I want you to look at these things. So the only things that they're spending money on for projects, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, they're going to spend $5.2 million. I'll break it down for you in a minute. Ministry of National Security is going to spend $7 million. The Royal Bahamas Defense Force, $3.4 million. Oh, I wonder what they're going to spend on. The Ministry of Works is going to spend $197 million. All right. The Ministry of Education is going to spend $48 million. Ministry of Energy and Transport, $6 million, 6.7. Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources, $3.3 million. Department of Information, Communication and Technology is going to spend $2.7 million. Now, stay with me. I'm going to show you some stuff and some funny maths and some stuff that don't add up that they're going to need to explain to sensible Bahamians. All right? So, just the projects ongoing. So, project costs and then the expenditure is after that. All right? And so, and then what they expect 2024. So again, Royal Bahamas Defense Force, right here. They're gonna electrification of Coral Harbor Base, South and North Shore. All right. So the total expenditure was supposed to be $2.1 million. So far, they've only spent 1.5 million, and they project this year they're going to spend 500,000. All right. So, and that's been going on from 2020, and they ain't finished that yet. You see that? So, construction of 4 safe boats, January 2024. So, the project cost is supposed to be 4.6 million. They've already spent 3 million so far, and they project they're going to spend another 1.5 million on that. That's it. That's all you're investing this year in the Defense Force. That's it. Y'all don't want to protect our borders. But we have a new government that's going to protect our borders. We're putting up a seawall. We can build that seawall. All right. And so let's keep going. Ministry of Works. So these are a bunch of different clinics and that kind of stuff. Now I can shoot through these so you can see some familiar, interesting stuff through here. Constructing a Ragged Island Clinic. It's supposed to be $13 million for that clinic. Jesus. They've spent 7.7 million. They expect to spend 5 million this year. So, and that was from 2020. They've been constructing that. And so far, they spent 7.7 million. Ragged Island School, $24 million was the budget. They've already spent 20 million. All right. And that was from 2021. So 3 years and Jesus. Anyway, BNT Consultancy, Climate Resilient Coastal, whatever that is. So I'll skip over that. Baseline coastal studies. They're going to spend 1.4 million. So all these are what? Junkanoo Beach. Baseline coastal studies and engineering design, Junkanoo Beach, Long Wharf, New Providence. So they're going to spend $1.4 million. Now, as we're reading this, I want you to see if they have any money in there for that $10 million that they need to put in a proper drainage for Pinewood Gardens. Let's look and see if we see that there. And let's look and see if hurricane shelters, which are very important at this time, are there. Let's see. All right. So tell me when you all see the Pinewood drainage, which is only $10 million. Tell me if you all see that or if you don't. All right. North Eleuthera International Airport Building, crash, fire rescue building, and related whatever. $2.2 million. Isn't this North Eleuthera International Airport Terminal Building? That's 2021. Isn't this the thing they just got a loan from? And now they're saying they're only going to spend 5.2 million. Sorry, 525 million on that this year. No, they've spent sorry, I said it wrong. They have spent 525 million, and this year they're looking to spend 1.5 million. But isn't this what they correct me if I'm wrong, please? But that's the North Eleuthera International Airport Terminal. All right, make that make sense to me. All right, engineering studies and design, replacement of the glass window bridge. So that's just the study and design. They paid $2.1 million just for the study and design. That's the budget. Sorry, they've spent $0 on it. That's the budget was $2.1 million for the study and design. and they spent $0 on it. They expect to spend $425,000 on it sometime in 2024, 2025. But hold on, wait. They just gave us a budget for that glass window bridge that increased from 30 to $60 million. All right. So how did you give us that number if the engineering studies and design replacement that you spent not a dollar on it so far? This is the budget, but you ain't spent nothing on that. So if you haven't done the engineering studies and design to replace the glass window bridge, how did you give us? How did you say it cost 30 million? And how did it go from 30 million and just jump to 60 million? This shows that the Progressive Liberal Party is BSing the Bahamian people, because this is the study for it. And this shows that they have so far spent $0 on the study. Unless y'all are saying y'all got the study free. So how y'all get to that number if you didn't spend anything on it? But you're saying you're going to spend 425, but that ain't spent yet. Are y'all seeing what I'm seeing? Let's keep going. Civil design of Exuma International Airport. It's just design stuff. Just design. $1.1 million. They spent 1.65. I mean, y'all ain't really spending. What are y'all doing? Architectural consultancy services. The renovation of the Embassy of the Bahamas building. $1 million. That's just for the architect. They've spent $178,000 so far. So nothing. But PLP, this is a lot of nothing. Consulting service design and site supervision Gladstone Road Improvement Project. This is just a design. $1 million. They spent $350,000. All right. Construction of South Andres All-Purpose Gymnasium to $11 million for a gym in South Andres. $11 million for a gym in South Andres. And they don't have $10 million for Pinewood to fix the drainage problem. You see, they got the money, It's the budget. But so far on that gym, they've only spent, they say, $750,000. So this the gym. You spent $750,000 and you say you're going to spend $1 million this year, $2 million in the year after that, and $2 million the year after that. But you only spend $750,000 of the $11 million. But they was bragging that they finished. What is phase 2? Oh God. All right, let's keep going. Replacement of Staniel Creek Bridge. All right, $9 million. They've spent $738,000. So nothing. It's another nothing burger. Refurbishment of the government docks and sea walls in Moores Island, Abaco. They need that. $8.4 million is the budget. How much did they spend? $0. So far, they have done nothing towards that. They are promising that they can spend, half of that. $4.4 million. All right? That's what they're saying they're going to do. But they have done nothing. And this was from 2022. The budget was $8.4 million. And up to this time, 2 years later, nothing. Not a dollar they spent on that. So Moores Island, you get what you vote for. North Andres Docks, $3.5 million. That's June 1st, 2024 is when they said they could do it. They spent $500,000 so far. So again, nothing yet. And that's why when the PLP talks about their accomplishment, they keep saying what they're going to do. But you look at the money and you'll tell what they actually did. Crooked Island Seawall, $18 million. Jesus. Hold on, what's this? $18 million for Crooked Island Seawall and Carriageway Rehabilitation. Jesus. They have so far spent $0 on it. Zero, that's the zero right there. Nothing. And that project was from 2016, the previous PLP administration. And they said, we can put $2.7 million towards that. Again, nothing. There's no plan to do nothing for you. And after that, nothing. There's 2024, 2025, 2025, 2026, you get nothing. 2026, 2027, you get nothing. So they ain't billing that for y'all. So Crooked Island, they're telling you nothing. Central Andres Road repairs, 13, well, I might as well say $14 million. They've already spent $3.8 million, and they could spend another $1.7 million, and then nothing after that. All right. Road repairs and carriageway rehabilitation, Red Bay settlement, $12.5 million. No, we know that you gave the fella a contract for $17 million. And so we need to understand these numbers. Y'all gave y'all Crooney, Brave Crooney, a contract for $17 million. And they say they spent $2.5 million so far. All right. Let's keep going. Great Harbor Key Road repairs, $10 million. Man, there's some big numbers. They spent though $4.7 million. And for this budget, they're gonna spend another $840,000. So y'all don't Great Harbor Key, y'all don't mean nothing to them. They telling you even election year, they ain't doing nothing for you. And after that. All right. Andres Road repairs. The budget is South Andres Road repairs, $7.7 million. They spent zero on you. All right, zero from 2021, August. And they saying they might do one little 2.6, and you all just take that and nothing else after that. Long Island Road repairs. They said $3.8 million was the budget. All right, $3.8 million, but they only spent so far $550,000. And they could spend another $148,000 they're promising you. That don't mean you get it this year. So they ain't really looking out for y'all. Y'all ain't really getting what they promise you. Bimini road repairs, $2.8 million. They've spent $1 million on it. Construction of the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium, $68 million. And so far, they say they've spent $2.2 million. And they think they can spend another $9.5 million. No ambulance. Nothing for Pinewood. The drainage, which could be fixed for the same amount. But $68 million. But they only spend let's keep going. Government House proposed renovations and restoration, $29 million. Listen, man, they have mansions twice as big as Government House that don't cost that to build from scratch. You mean to renovate Government House, it costs $30 million? They say they spent $3.6 million, lies, on it so far, and they're going to spend another $2.8 million. Wow. BTC building, you see they renovating BTC building. The budget is $10 million. They say they've already spent $2 million, and they anticipate spending another $8 million. Ministry of Education. So construction of the Holmes Rock School. Remember this? This is a school that we went to Grand Bahama and raised hell, told the whole Bahamas about. The construction of the school, the budget was $20 million. See, $19.5 million. They say they've spent $18.5 million on it so far. And they say they are going to spend another $1 million or so on it. But $20 million for that? So how you building that whole big school for $19 million? A big school. You see how big that school is? That's a monster. For $19 million, but the renovations at Government House, they cost $30 million. And the little 10,000 square foot airport in Cat Island is going to cost $18 million. These numbers ain't adding up. Construction of Lausanne Primary School, another $10 million. Staniel Key, $3 million. San Salvador Primary, $5 million. Construction of repairs of Sybil Strawn Primary School, $7 million. And so all these schools, I'm going to send this to you. So I don't have to go through this whole thing. But the total on these ones here is $101 million, right? That's on that last set of projects, all right? And so Ministry of Transport, online portal to enhance revenue collection at the Port Department is going to cost $3.3 million for an online portal. Well, you're getting this portal from Mars, eh? An online portal software is going to cost $3.3 million. Okay, well, who y'all paying for this? I could do that for y'all. I'll do that for y'all for free. before I let y'all take our taxpayer money and spend $3.3 million on an online portal? No, man. No, man. Let's keep going. Maintenance and upkeep of navigation aids, etc. Zero. All right, let's go. Marine agriculture and marine resources. The Golden Yoke Egg Project. $14 million is the budget. $14.2 million is the budget. You see? For the Golden Egg Project. But with all that $14 million talk, they've only spent this, $803,000. All right. And they anticipate spending $2.5 million this year, $2.5 million the next year, and $4 million the year after that. Now, hold on now. Let's add that up. Let's do the maths. Let's add that up. So it's four. They say they're spending because they had this big announcement with the egg project, right? So we need to see what that math's saying. Where's the math? Let me grab a calculator while you're there with me. And so 803,448 plus 2.525,632 plus 2.24, these round numbers. All right, plus 4 million, round numbers, which means I ain't even no real budget. You just drink up the top of the head. Now, you all say the Golden Egg Project is 14.2 million, right? But y'all are only going to spend from now to 2027, y'all are only going to spend 9.7 million. Where the rest? Where's the change? Where's the change? Where's the other 5 million that go in your pocket? No, this is the goose that lays the golden egg. Because if this the budget, if this the money y'all set aside for this, y'all only doing this, which equals 9 million, basically, roughly 9.7. So where the rest? I just want you all to see this, bombers. They found the money for this golden egg thing. So there's money to do other things. All right. Construction of building cultivation center in Eleuthera. Okay, I'll skip that. Department of Information. So they're going to do a PRM, government digital transformation. $30 million. Jesus. 30 million. Listen, this better come with robots that can do the work for us. This better give us a satellite in the satellites in space. $30 million for digital transformation. Oh God! And you all done spend 7.5 million on what? Software? Jesus. So that's another $30 million there. That's 15 million. Oh Lord, these numbers crazy. Let's keep going. Because I won't go to the phone lines. All right. Ministry of Foreign Affairs. This is Fred Mitchell. This is their little projects. Repairs to the Chancery building in Washington. $6 million. Jesus. Fred. What? Anyway, keep going. Ministry of National Security. Construction of a virtual court. $9.5 million. Jesus. A virtual court? Y'all never hear about Zoom? Or WebEx? Or I could build that for y'all. I'll do it for free for my country. I'll bill y'all a web platform for video calls. $9.5 million, and y'all done spend $5 million. Next, the Ministry of National Security. So no new police cars, no police trucks, no none of that stuff. Expansion of CCTV surveillance system, $2 million. Jesus. Wow. So that's all y'all did for the police. That's all you got in budget for the police, the Ministry of National Security. That's it. Okay, Rob Arms Defense Force. Dry docking. Dry docking of one of their boats, 1.4 million. Construction of 7,500 square foot warehouse for 3.1 million. Wow. All right. Ministry of Works, Family Island Affairs, construction of breakwaters at Junkanoo Beach, Long Wharf, $12 million on Junkanoo Beach. That ain't as urgent to me as fixing the flooding problem in Pinewood that y'all caused. $12 million for Junkanoo Beach, for some wharfs, for some breakwaters. You know what the breakwater is? That's the little concrete stuff that they just put out there. You know that on Montague Beach, they have the breakwaters that go out shaped like a T almost. All right? So breakwaters is what you do to break the waves from coming in strong onto the beach. And to stop sand erosion, etc. 12 million for that? Man, we could put together a team of Bahamians and we could make those concrete stuff or get some rocks from somewhere and dump them in there, make it look good. 12 million? Put you all billing. That must be a 10-story breakwater. You all might as well build a wall to block them people from coming from Inagua to invade our country. All right, construction of National Works on the Junkanoo Beach Long Wharf. So that's another 5 million. Jesus. Causeway and infrastructure works in East Grand Bahama. 2.5. Good. Flood mitigation, implementation, and infrastructure works in Central Long Island. 2.5 million. Good. Long Island need everything they could get by waiting until they get to Bay Street. Y'all wait for me. Bay Street coming. Construction of natural infrastructure hazards in Antris. Okay, 2 million. Okay. Shoreline management studies. Just a study. Resilient coastal. That's $1 million. Okay, they didn't spend that. Glass window bridge in Lutra. $70 million. They've already spent $20 million. So the budget is $70 million, but I thought they say it was going from 30 to 60. Now it's 70. So they telling you all one thing and putting another thing here. If I'm wrong, please correct me. All right. So $70 million. They said they already spent 20 on the glass window bridge. And if y'all see $20 million worth of work on the glass window bridge, please correct me. Someone from Eleuthera, when I open the lines, please call me and let me know if they've done what you feel is $20 million worth of work on the glass window bridge. They say they didn't spend $20 million. That's what this is for. Of the 70, and they're going to spend 30 and 20 next year and the year after. That's crazy. $70 million for one bridge. Jesus. Ferry Bridge in Exuma, $25 million. Fresh Creek Bridge, $15 million. Glass window bridge, 70. And the glass window don't actually have no glass windows. That's just a bridge. There's no glass. I just want you to know that who haven't been there. There's no glass. All right. So Barratari Bridge, 15 million. Stafford Creek, 10 million, and on and on and on and on. All right. And so all these different bridges, 8 million, 6 million here and there. So Crooked Island and Eleuthera, all of these stuff they have budgeted. But of course, if you look next to the line item, they'll say 15 million, but they've done do 3. 10 million, already done 2. 10 million, they've spent $2 million. All right. So that's what Jesus. All right. So let's keep going. We go down. Treasure Key, Dock and Abaco, awesome. Sidewalks, they're going to spend $66 million on sidewalks. So that's money to croonies. All right. New Providence Road improvements, maintenance, $60 million on New Providence roads. They're going to do 20, 20, and 20 this year, next year, and the year after that. All right. So projected costs. All right. Glasgow Road improvement, 35 million. 5 million projected this year, then 15. All right. Extension corridor, Malo Butler. They said Malo Butler, $30 million. Not this year, though. San Salvador Road repairs, 24 million. Look at all these millions. All right. West End Road repairs, and see everything they push into closer to elections. See elections in 2025, 2026, and that's when they promising they could do some of these stuff. See how much the numbers get bigger on that line. Construction the roads, keep going. All right, pothole patching. All right, this a lot of millions. So we have a lot of money. It's just how they're spending it that is the problem. All right, Harbor Island, this and that. Okay, I got to keep going. Sorry, let me keep pushing. I just want to get through a lot of this so you can see it. You can see all these budget line items. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Digitization of Ministry of Works and Family Island Affairs, 1.8 million. Digitization again. All right. Georgetown Primary School. Okay, let's keep going. Keep going. All right. All right, I can't go through all of these. Another 55 million. Let me try to get to the bottom. All right, the total for all of these. Let me get see if I can get what you're talking about. Now they have the public-private partnership justification for construction of this hotel. I'm sorry, this prison. And so this is justification what they're gonna do, and this public-private partnership, which means they working with someone. Now, public-private partnerships don't normally work like this, but that's another conversation. I just want to speed through this because time is going. Justification to rehabilitate, these roads, and have justification for everything here for a couple of things, and then these are the loans. All right, so that's hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in projects that you saw there, and now separate from that is $620 million, because this is in millions, in loans. Now watch this carefully. Waiting for Green Climate Fund to approve a tranche. So they now already have access to a Green Climate Fund, and they're trying to get $50 million out of that. Remember I told you about $11.37 billion that they're trying to qualify and do certain things to be able to have access to that. Now, some people are there spreading false information that they already had it in the bank and it was already here in the Bahamas and there were these people on a list, and that is not true. All right? They're trying to qualify for that and to get it in tranches. So awaiting Green Climate Fund to approve $50 million. They're trying to pull $50 million out of it. They didn't get that yet. All right? Bahamas Air Holdings is borrowing $20 million for new aircraft. Now watch this. Remember that, $20 million new aircrafts. Water and sewage, $40 million. They're getting from the Caribbean Development Bank, Water Supply Improvement Project, loan extension. So $40 million for water and sewage. Another $100 million for water and sewage, water mains. That's borrowing now. And then another Public Hospital Authority is borrowing. They have this down here as a loan, right? A guarantee, all right, for this hospital. But they ain't get that yet. That ain't signed. Bahamas Power and Light is borrowing another $100 million that we have to pay. All right. And then the Airport Authority, $20 million for new aircraft. Now, hold on, wait. So Bahamas Air Holdings getting $20 million for new aircraft, and the Airport Authority getting $20 million for new aircraft. The Airport Authority buys planes. Someone please help me with that. Maybe they do. And I'll be the first to admit that I don't know them to buy planes. So they have here on this official budget, they're paying people $20 million for new aircraft for the Airport Authority and $20 million for new aircraft to Bahamas Air. It may be perfectly legitimate, but come on. All right, we want to know exactly what's going on. All right. They also had a budget here to show how much money they send to each of our islands. Like Harbor Island is now getting, instead of 380 million, they're getting the 400, not million, 380,000, they're getting the 400,000. And the different islands where these islands send millions of dollars to Nassau and they get back hundreds of thousands, which is ridiculous. Some of that is in here, but I gotta let me stop there and start to take your calls and let you be a part of this conversation. I just wanted to go through that because most times Bahamians don't read, and a lot of it is because they don't understand a lot of the numbers and they don't know what they're seeing. And so my duty, as I've always committed to, is to making sure that I educate the Bahamian people on what's really going on and when politicians are tricking them. All right, so let me take these phones off of silent. And the phone lines are open, 803-5995. You can talk about anything that I've talked about today from the beginning, from Millie and all of them. Also, there's a YouTube story about a Bahamian judge that's going around. And I think all of you should watch it as Bahamians so that you can take the information. I've gotten the original information from the persons involved. These are some serious allegations. And these allegations, I mean, that's embarrassment to our judicial system. I've had bad experience in our judicial system, very bad experience. But of course, now this is on an international scale. All right, so good evening, you're live. I am awesome. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
Great.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
I listen to this. I just hurt my head, man, because I look at this and I say, like, how you would, with a straight face, present $11 million for a gym? What? What?
For a gym.
Like, what? For a gym? No, man. I remember when we was growing up. I mean, they used to do no defense. But it wasn't this bad. I mean, this is just ridiculous.
Wow.
This is just ridiculous. I mean, if they take a little couple hundred, maybe a couple $1,000 off the top. These people trying to get rich on one gym. Come on, man. This stuff is just crazy. I mean, my head hurting. Please go to my head. This stuff that should cost a fraction.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they even trying to hide the fact that they're teaching from you.
Yeah. I mean, and so much of those numbers, I mean, they are shady as hell. They are shady, you know?
Lord, I'm the Bahamians don't see this and just get up and want friggin' bum rush the government. I don't know what else they can take.
So
so
I'm not wrong, right? They said 30 million for the glass window bridge. Then they increased it to 60 million, right?
And what you show say 70 million.
Yeah. Because they know we don't read.
How the hell you going up on the bridge but you already get engineering, construction, everything already approved on from years ago? You going from 30 million to 60, 70 according to their documents.
But dying the bad part, they said they already spent 20 million on that bridge. And I've been going back and forth, and I ain't seen no work done to that, man. I could be wrong. But I ain't seen no work done to that. And they saying they didn't spend, 20 million?
No, but I mean, at some point you gotta ask the question. How the hell are you going from 20 to 30, now to 70?
To 60 to 70.
Hey, if somebody need to be fired, they need to get a new construction. Something need to happen because they're wasting the people money. If in fact this is true.
And the airport authority buys planes. I could be wrong. I really want to know. The airport authority has an airline.
Well, I don't know.
So it looked like they tried to get two set of $20 million. So they put one loan in the name of the airport authority. The next loan is going to be in the name of Bahamas Air. We just need to get this $40 million.
I mean,
Two loans for the same thing.
these fellas, I can understand you taking something off the top. Numbers going up, that's happening all the time.
Wow.
But these governments, they're trying to get rich off everything else.
Wow.
Come on, man.
I guess Brave won Air Force One, so they can make us pay for it. Thanks for your call, man.
Okay, man.
803-5995 is the numbers. 803-5995. I know I talk long, but I really wanted us to go through that today and to really see what the numbers are, because that's beyond sickening, man. To see some of these numbers, I wanted you to see it and how shady it is. And so remember, they borrowed $1 billion from the UK, and they were going to draw down on it to build the North Eleuthera Airport. And then now, recently, they said they borrowed another $55 million for the same thing, the North Eleuthera Airport. So it looked like they making these loan applications and just putting the same thing on it just to get the money. That's how it looks. Let's go to phone lines. Good evening, you're live.
Hey, good evening. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Good. But it was the budget reading of your feed today.
What line call you?
And I'm wondering about several things right now. I have a couple questions I want to ask. I want to cover in a second. The PLP of today, are they the same PLP of the building Pinland era?
No. These ones hate the PLP. You know, Brave had left the PLP when Ingram them left, and you know, it's like the whole PLP is gone. Remember, he was against Pinland's daughter running, so they're against the Pinland PLP. Fred Mitchell actually, what did he burn? The Constitution, the flag, whatever. I think it's the Constitution.
Yeah.
And he was against Pinland hardcore. You know, became an FNM senator or appointed by the FNM. So these aren't real PLPs. Chester Cooper is an FNM. And the FNM was taking too long to, I just want to make sure I explain this to everyone. The FNM was taking too long to ratify him. And so the PLP came and grabbed him up. And so he's an FNM, has always been. Him and the whole, Chamber of Commerce crew, Marlon Johnson and all of them was FNMs together. And so him, Chester, Brave, and Fred Mitchell, the people running the PLP, they're in the real PLP, Pinland era PLPs. Go ahead.
So can you corroborate what I'm actually trying to do? My next point to you is, remember Mr. Pinland said he was going to fight for ownership for the Canadian side. This PLP, the PLP, whatever PLP, you think they still in that? Or you think they've lost that mantra?
Well, Brave has already said he's not going to empower Bahamians. He's not going to let us benefit from our economy. So that one over.
Okay, so I think that needs to be reinforced to the people, because you're talking something that is supposed to happen under the Pinland era as an ownership. So this ain't nothing new. And so we could all comfortably say that the PLP failed that mantra long time, because, you know, it is still the PLP, even though they say they appear to be strange. They failed us in ownership. So what's the problem? What do people understand? They can't tie it all together, or is it just me?
What they do is they try to keep us uneducated, so we can't read these things and understand it, and so they could keep raping and robbing us. And that's why my job is to make sure that we do this, and our job is to get our family and friends involved and make sure that they know what's going on. All right?
Well, I'm happy that you're reading the budget, because honestly, it makes no sense. Oh, one more question before I go, Mr. Bain.
Go ahead.
The VAT that was introduced 5 years ago. Can you tell me if we know the full amount that's collected to date, and is it working for our country?
Well, I'm almost out of time. When I do my next live, I'm gonna break it down for you. But yes, they have the full total amount that was collected, and no, they've not paid down the debt. Is actually in this document. You can see how the debt was paid down, and it wasn't. The debt actually increased. It increased since the minister's administration, and so until now, it's still in the same place. Well, it's increased. It isn't the same. And so
Oh,
they're not doing what they're supposed to do with the VAT, etc. But I didn't have time to go into all of that, so I skipped
okay.
over
All
some
right.
of that in the document. But we have more of
Okay.
these conversations. But
Well,
thanks for your
next time,
call.
please explain the deficit between 4 years ago and now. Please
Definitely, I
explain.
will.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
And so there's a couple of things. Caller number 2, I'm coming to you right now. A couple of things that we can do with this with the budget that is there. 20% of our budget goes to interest payments. 20%, over 675 million. All of that is in the document. I had to speed over it. 20% just interest. That's what we get liquid every year. 20% of our budget goes to just paying the interest on our debt. Jesus. All right. We can do things to mitigate that interest. Refinancing, etc., so that we can take money from that. It would be a huge saving. We have ways to mitigate it from 5 to 10%, and we would have huge. I mean, we'd make hundreds of millions of dollars that we could use for other projects. All right, administrative fees and operational costs that we're paying. We could cut that right down to be able to do something different with this budget. A lot of the capital expenditure is not urgent at this time, and we can redirect it to proper investments that we can actually make money from as a country, and then use the income made, invest it, and use the return on investment to do some things with. All right. The travel and training budget is ridiculous. All right, $86 million over their term. That's stupid. All right. And the consultancy budget is very extreme. And we can change that to be able to have a budget that we can do something better with. Caller number 2, you're live.
Lincoln Bain, how are you, sir?
I am awesome. How you doing?
All is well, Derek Benjamin, the Merrick Jr. here, and I was listening to you. I just told, and I wish I could catch the whole show.
Oh my God, you missed it.
Because I missed it, man. I'm going to go back over it later. But
Yeah.
with respects to the loan concerning the airport, I think you mentioned it, and it was supposed to be a drawdown. I think it was $1 billion from Great Britain, but I thought some of that money is for the airport in Grand Bahama.
Some was for Grand Bahama, some was for Eleuthera and a couple other airports.
But they never do nothing with the airport in Grand Bahama yet.
No, they didn't.
We're talking with free clearance airport now for the
Yeah.
US and these different things. Ain't nothing ever happened to that.
No, they never did anything with that. And so the fact is, they borrowed using the same thing as the reason for borrowing. So that's like you borrow from one bank, you say, okay, borrowing. You go to another bank, say, borrowing to build this house. Another bank, I borrowing to build this house. That's a problem.
That's ridiculous. Concerning this 357, I ain't hearing nothing but that. I guess they must have gone to court with that. They ain't giving us no update on the 357 and different things. The 357 million for GBPA and all that going on there.
Yeah, so nothing is going to come out of that. Nothing is going to come out of that. Brave them is making it seem like they are requesting this stuff when they know they have no intentions on receiving this. They just want to ask for it to say that they asked for it. All right. Wow. It's ridiculous. The same thing with the reparations he's now talking about. The reparations is ridiculous. Let me tell you how stupid this is, because we've already received some of the reparations in 2 ways. The slave masters left land for us. Land is more valuable than money. All right. The slave masters left land for all of the generations of their slave. They call it generation property. But they refuse to give us deeds for those generation property, because giving us deeds would turn those properties into actual capital, real property that we can use to raise income, all right, and raise financing, etc., use as capital. And so they aren't doing what they're supposed to do with what they already left for us, and you want cash. What you want this $200 billion cash for to thief when you're not giving us what they left for us? That's the first thing. The Queen also left some of the reparations in the form of crown land, and they are giving it to mostly pastors and other people that they could use to influence them, foreigners to build hotels and everyone else except for us. And they're not giving it to us. You're right. They're selling it to us.
Selling it, yeah.
All right. So that all of that is a bunch of flam and BS to the Bahamian people. And he knows he's not going to get that, but he wants to be able to say, see, I stood up to the status quo and I asked for this and I asked for that.
This situation with FOIA was going on with the AG talking about neglect. What do you say? Negligence. He said negligence.
With what?
respects to FOIA and being able to harness the necessary documents and so on and so forth. In other words, he's saying they did not properly kept the records.
Yes.
And so as a result, they can kind of like that don't make sense to me. Now I know at the end of administrations before the election, they will have people come and destroy records and different things. I think we have seen video with people coming at the cabinet office getting look like records and then they go destroy the records and things like that. But my point is, you as a government, how is it that you not competent enough to keep record keeping?
So here's where it is. Whatever records you do have, you digitize them and give the people access to them. If the record is gone, then you make a note and you say that the record has been gone and you run an investigation for the record. You don't just say it gone. You have to do an investigation to see where that gone. Because sometimes a lot of the records, they say the record isn't there, but all it is someone moving into a different office. Like, for example, there was a case with Elizabeth Thompson, who was the registrar at the time, and she said that Allison Maynard told her to move some records that was concerning Allison Maynard's former client, and she told her to move it into Elizabeth Thompson's office so that anyone going for the file can't find the file. But it's right there. It's not lost or stolen. It's in Elizabeth Thompson's office. So if you need to get it later, it's there. So that's the trick that they do. And the same thing with the lady in Freeport, and you see her files have gone missing. All right, Ms. Reckley?
That was returned. That was restored.
Okay, good. And so that's what happens with some of these documents. So what we will do now is we will be able to digitize this system so that whenever that document passes, someone with an app is able to scan and say that document went from Lincoln Bain to Derek.
Right.
All right.
Absolutely.
And so we can see where that document is at every single time, the physical document. But it's not the physical document that you need. They will have digital records of it, and they will be able to pass that. And if the physical is moved, there's and I've built systems like this, and I use it for my business. All right. Every time $1 pass, you go in the app and you pass that and you sign. You use your finger and you sign. To say that passed from one person to the next. All this stuff can be done. They don't want it done. They don't want freedom of information because they want teeth.
Boy, I tell you. Listen, one more thing, because I know you got a lot of people calling in.
Yeah.
This situation with this stop the steal situation.
Mm-hmm.
I have real concern about this stop the steal situation because I was in the group and there was some concerns with respects to either a cookout or an event that was held. And the person who was responsible for taking care of all of the information and stuff like that and to have a report, okay? And she wanted to close out the report, but at the end of the day, it was said that Ricardo Thurston had some outstanding tickets, okay? And I queried them to...
What do you mean outstanding tickets? Like he sold the tickets and didn't bring in the money?
He got the tickets and didn't bring in the money.
Oh, all the tickets.
Yeah. All the tickets, you understand? And so the report was held up because of him. Now, the person who was dealing with the report, I guess them two was back and forth. She was waiting on him and whatever the case may be. However, they had a separate group. But when they brought it into the group where everyone is, it kind of had to come out for us to say, hold on now, Mr. Tyson, why is it that you're taking so long to turn in these tickets? You understand where you're coming from? You see? And so if you're going to talk about a platform, talking about stop the steal and different things, I'm not saying that Mr. Tyson is a thief. I'm not saying anything from the negative connotation. I'm not trying to get caught up in a liable here or nothing of that sort. My point to you is, Mr. Bain, I questioned him on it today, asking for transparency, okay? Because for some reason it looked like it was swept under the rug. Asking him for transparency, how much tickets it was, what is the dollar value of those tickets. You understand where you're coming from, right? And he removed me of the group.
Oh, wow.
He removed you of the group. And so if you want to be transparent and accountable and all this, and you running on about the $156 billion and you want to have 10,000 people and 20,000 and you could be able to get the nonpartisan and all this, you running on with, I got another group there where he was running on and we was talking about all this, and I tell him, hold on, you want 10,000 people, why don't go work with Lincoln Bain? What's the big deal with that? Lincoln Bain got 10,000 plus, he have his own army. You understand where I come from? But boy, could Lincoln be in a different thing because you only want to push this bill through the House and get it passed and implemented and blah, blah, blah. You understand where I'm coming from? This stop the steal situation look like this is going to be a problem. You understand? Because if he's the leader of Stop the Steal, and at the end of the day, we already have problems to do with respect to couple tickets. You understand what I'm saying to you? Where the report was unable to be concluded, you know, because of you delaying, not wanting to turn the tickets in. And every time people ask you about it, you have a problem. Now I'm asking you about transparency you to move me out the group. It's a bunch of foolishness.
Oh, wow.
I hope
Wow.
you're saying like this VMAS situation where he look like, listen to me, Lincoln, I tired of this foolishness going on inside this country where these people popping up from here and there and everywhere and they ain't serious.
Yeah.
You understand? Use the most serious one thus far. We saw what you did with respect to Winkia Komalafi. She didn't want to work with you. You understand where I'm coming from? And so at the end of the day, you remove her as third party. You became the third party. You understand? A strong third party. You understand where I'm coming from. You see? And so I'm just sick and tired of different people popping up and different things like that and all that going on at the end of the day. They ain't serious. And then we look election call and we get the bad end of the stick and different things like that.
Yeah, I'm not in the group, so I don't really know a lot of stuff you're saying.
I know.
Well,
but people who in the group listening, they know what I'm saying.
Okay.
It's all facts.
Well, I should say I was not allowed in the group. Persons asked for me to be in the group, and he said I can't be in the group. I don't know why. But I will say that I didn't understand when I heard there was a cookout. I didn't understand what you was raising money for. If you're drafting a bill to take to the House of Assembly to give to a politician to table, you don't need money for that. We've done that over and over. And so I don't know what you're raising the money for to pass a bill to a politician. Now, if you're saying there was some kind of lawsuit, like what the Patriots did, I understand why it's money for that. You pay the lawyers. But in this case, the whole fundraising thing didn't seem to make sense.
Unless you're trying to draft the bill and you got to pay someone to draft the bill. But you do that the other day. You were with Frederick Markle buying them and they all table the bill and do things.
Yeah. But he said he was drafting the bill, so there's no one to pay. So I don't know. But I don't think you should be. I don't see what the fundraising is for. They said they wanted to have town halls, travel to family islands, et cetera, et cetera. We've been doing that. We've been traveling, having town halls, educating people about the carbon credits and about immigration and all of these things. We've been doing that. And so you're repeating the same thing over and over. But I mean, whatever is good for them is good, I guess.
I just get a message just came in right here. And it's talking about the outstanding ticket numbers. And it's saying it's 50 tickets were distributed to Mr. Tyson, Ricardo Thurston. Okay? And those tickets value $294. $294. Okay? And he failed to turn it in. So if you fail to turn in $294, boy, what you dealing with? What you trying to do with this legislation?
I think your numbers is wrong.
How we go?
The tickets was $15 and up. So if it's 50 tickets, that's $750 at least, because there was different prices for the tickets. So chicken, fish, steak, remember? And it started at 15.
Okay.
So 50 times 15 is 750.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what they saying now? 50 tickets were distributed. The tickets were honored. Funds yet to be received is $294. So maybe he must be paid some funds based on what this stating here, because it's saying the funds yet to be received is $209. So maybe it's the balance of this thing. I don't know. You understand? But in any event, you know, it's a whole bunch of mess up, and I don't understand. If you're going to talk about Stop the Steal and you talk about this credit money and all this every billions of days, you understand what I'm saying? Right now, the Bayman people see we sick and tired of the foolishness, Lincoln Bay. That's the thing. Yeah. And we have to now look at these things in its initial attempt to begin and to start, so that we can say, now, hold on now. You're saying this is the route we going. We need transparency. We need accountability. You understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah. If you're talking about all these things, we want to check these things now before it blow up, and then before you know it, you know, you have this draft and different things, then somebody done buy it from you and all that kind of stuff and a whole bunch of mess. I ain't saying that's what he's planning on doing. I'm just saying these things is possible to happen.
Yeah, I want to say this to you and everyone else. You know, a lot of different groups want to form out there to go and agitate the PLP and the FNM or whatever. Listen, we should be tired begging them. They are not going to do what's right. I don't care how much people you bring out there. They are not. They are not going to do what is right for the Bahamian people. We have to go and take this government and remove them, and then do what is right. That is the only way. All right. So I'm
Yeah, but
encouraging all of you.
I don't know how you operate. I say to myself, I say this point, then give me something to prove to these people, you know. You understand what I'm saying? When people might think you want something else, you will fix the problem. You understand where I'm coming from? That's what run you on. You really want to fix this problem because you could see it so clear.
I gotta live in this country. My children gotta live here.
No, exactly. But you remember now, these people now declaring over us that we are the average. I don't know why they're doing that. And I say to myself, okay, if I'm a D average and you saying everyone is a D average nationally, as a nation we are D average, that means the politician is D average, that means the bankers is D average, the doctors, the lawyers, everyone is D average. You understand where you're coming from?
Yeah.
While you might have achieved your credits and you might have achieved your degree and so on and so forth, apart from that, nationally, as a nation, you understand? We are the average. They need to do something about that. Why are they trying to dumb us down and don't want us to have the necessary curriculum so that we can become? And I think that ain't ready, you know.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for your call, man.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
So again, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know, what he's talking about with that Thurston thing, or whatever they was having in that group. I never understood what the cookout was for, and you don't have to raise. This is my opinion. You could say I'm wrong. You could say, well, this is why he's raising money. That's fine. But I didn't understand. It was being explained that they're raising money to draft a bill to pass the PLP MP in order to pass it in the House. Now, Brave already said he is not giving us the Sovereign Wealth Fund, one, and he took it from us. That's like going to the man who robbed you and saying, this a petition I want you to give it back. That ain't gonna happen, man. All right, we have to go and take the house. We have to go and take back what they stole from us. All right. So that's what I want to do. 803-5995, 803-5995 is the numbers. Also, I had an interesting conversation in the food store. I ran into Naughty today. So just so all of you know, Naughty, I ran into him and his wife in the food store in Quality Market, City Market. And, he was offended. He showed me that he was still offended over a comment made where there was a march that was supposed to happen. And he had, someone on he brought this up. He had, someone on the show promoting the march, and the persons donated to the march, but the march didn't happen. And he said that we were saying that he took the money, and he wanted to be clarified that he didn't ever collect any money. He didn't collect any money, and that he just it was just on his show being promoted. And so he wanted to make sure that that was clear. Now, he has his own show, and he could have clarified it on his show, but I'm also going to do that here. I don't know him to have taken any money. I know that persons did donate to the march. I personally know of 2 or maybe 3 persons. I personally know of them. I've seen it with my own eyes of persons who did donate to that. And then the march didn't happen. I mean, that happens. So, but Naughty wanted to, and again, those persons that I saw didn't give anything to Naughty. All right. So he wanted me to clear that up. He was very offended. I mean, he was in my face, almost like aggressive. He was, shouting and carrying on about it in the food store. But of course, I was calm and cool, and his wife was too, and she was trying to tell him to calm down. It seemed to be a big deal to him. He didn't touch me. He really got right in my face, saying the next time come talk to him first or whatever. He didn't touch me or anything, because then that would have been a different story. But he was very offended by that. So I just want to make it clear, as far as I know, no one donated to him or gave to him, but persons did do so. And he wanted to be clear that it was just being promoted on his show. So that was important to him. So I just wanted to bring that back up for his sake. All right. So So that was very interesting today. It was almost comical where it was so interesting. He was fuming over that. All right. So just wanted to get that out of the way. All right. Um, so this is what's the latest with audio, voice, and with audio in the police. That is clearly being swept under the rug, and we are going to have to get into office in order to persecute that and to prosecute that, because clearly that is being swept under the rug. We're hearing off the record things, like they can't touch him, and certain threats were made. We see a lot of lying going on with it. So when you see a lot of lying going on with these situations, by officials who should be credible, even down to person saying that he was on suspension when we could see that he was right there on camera, working when they said he was on suspension. And on top of that, they try to say it was an old picture, and so then we played the video on this live, and we haven't seen her since, and we hope we don't see her ever again, because she literally clearly lied to the Bahamian public about that when he was right there, and we knew that he got transferred to headquarters to work with her, and so that was interesting. Yeah, so that's your answer for that. And so we just got to remove these corrupt governments and get rid of them. Again, there's a YouTube going around about a Bahamian judge, and you need to go and watch that. All right, you need to go and watch that. Every Bahamian should watch that. It shows the judicial system. It puts some questions out there that we need to fix some holes. All right, they are saying some things like there's conflict of interest and some other stuff that's going on. I want you to watch it for yourself and then come to your own conclusion about it. All right, because it is serious, and if the allegations are true, I don't see how the judge could remain. They're even showing stuff where the judge is her name that she swore in is not. They're saying that is not her name. It's a different name she swore into when she swore to be a judge than what is her actual name. And so based on that, anyone who was a part of any case with her, they're saying that she's not sworn in properly. And there's a lot of stuff that they presented. The video is more than an hour, but they are thorough. They broke everything down and showed all the documents. So, Jesus, go on YouTube and look for that. All right? All right, go on YouTube and look for that. That is serious. All right. And so it's right there. I see people already passing it around in WhatsApp. So if you're in a WhatsApp group, tell them to share it around and see what's going on. All right. So I know. Anyway, I'll leave that there. All right. All right. So again, the video is about the judge called Indra Charles or Indira Charles, but Indra Charles. And so I can't verify anything they said, but there is a video being circulated about Indra Charles. All right. And so it's some serious accusations, and these are persons claiming to be from the United States that are tired of the corruption in the Bahamas that are saying that they posted this stuff. All right. So go and watch it for yourself, and we'll talk about that another time. But I got to end this here. It's ice cream time. And so I got to end this here. And so, wow. So we had a lot to talk about today. We touched on a lot of stuff. But we'll go live again on Sunday at 5. Remember to tell all your family and friends Sunday at 5. And there's a lot of people who are not on social media, and they think that we're actually not doing anything. There's some people who only get the information from the news, and so they're not in the know. So make sure your people know that every Sunday at 5 that I'm here religiously educating the Bahamian people on what is going on. All right. Make sure your homework is watch the video. Not saying that the video is true or false, but just saying watch it and you come to your own conclusion. All right. So that's it. That's important. All right. So thank you for that. God bless all of you. I'm doing this because I love you and I love my country. and that we have to save this. This is the only country we got. This is the only nation we got. All right. So again, go watch that video. And if you want to see my full speech that I did, my leadership speech yesterday on my birthday is on my YouTube page. On the Facebook page, they blocked it after about 35 minutes. The audio goes away, but the full audio is on my YouTube page. So you can go on Lincoln Bain's YouTube page and you can watch it there. All right. Thank you. Thank you to all of you. God bless you. We got to save our country, and only what you do. And again, everything that we're doing takes funding. Every party, even Trump is a billionaire and he's getting donations. All right. Everyone has to get donations. And so, again, these are the ways that you can donate to the organization. Don't just say you support. This takes funding. This takes money. If you believe in it, put your money where your mouth is. So that's one of the links. All right. That will take you to GoFundMe. And this is the other link that will take you to directly to where you can pay here in the Bahamas. So if you are here in the Bahamas, you can use this link. All right. This link right here. If you are in the US or the Bahamas, you can use this link right here. All right. Support the movement. All right? A lot of people haven't been keeping up to date with what they're supposed to do. And the office in Pinewood is open every day, I think from 9 to 3. And so it's open every single day. So you can go down there, and if you want to make payments, pay your membership, or give donations, you can go right there and do so. But do it online. All right. Do it online. You can, wherever you are right now, you can actually scan these barcodes or click on the link that you saw showing up just now. Please support the movement. All right. We got to make this happen. We got to continue doing what we have to do. All right. So we're doing this for all of us. So support the movement. I don't care if it's $5. You waste $5 on stuff every week. You could take once a week and you could say, listen, let me give $5 to the party. Let me give $1 to the party. Let me give $10 to the party. Let's make sure this happens. All right. So these are the links. You're seeing it wherever platform you're watching this on. The links are popping up right now. You can click on the links or scan this QR code and it'll take you there. All right. So the GoFundMe is for if you're in the Bahamas or any other country. And the other link is for if you're in the Bahamas only. All right. So please, you can see what we're doing. We're fighting for the Bahamian people. We don't get paid for this. It takes a lot of our time. We spent 2 days with one young lady making sure that she got justice, and we're going to see what happens with that. But we spend a lot of time. We have to travel to Family Islands. We have to spread the message everywhere. And so it's only going to happen if you help us to make it happen. So every little bit counts. Don't think that your little bit is not going to help. Whether it's $5, whatever it is, we need your help to get this done. So God bless you. We love you.